How about now? Now you can hear me, but not too loud. So let me turn it down a little bit. Okay, there we go. We're good. Sound excellent. So as I was saying, it's a little after 9 o'clock my time. I'm doing something a little bit different tonight. Obviously, I'm building a computer. There's a reason I called it Kersey Fabrications, and it's because I'm not always going to be building printers. So let's talk to everyone in the chats first, because I want to say thank you to everyone that decided to come and join me. So Henry was here first, so I'm going to call Henry out. Thank you, Henry, for joining me. You got Sin here, and Corey, and Nova, and Felipe, and John, and David, and Garrett. And who am I missing? Non-Fam is here. I'm going to miss someone. Tribot is here. Hey, John, how you doing? So I will call out some more people as we get going. Let me go ahead and hopefully the mic is good. If the mic gets too hot, please let me know. I'm wearing the mic tonight because I'm going to be moving around, so I'm not using the usual USB mic. And the stream looks good, and we've got about 20 people joining us already. So anyway, so as I said, I'm building a computer tonight, and to be honest, this is how I got started really doing kind of media stuff on the internet, was with computers. My first kind of side job that I was doing was a computer component review website back probably before YouTube was really much of a thing at all. So that wasn't even really something I could have done at the time, or I would have even been ahead of a Linus if I would have done it then. So I knew I was going to have questions. So Justin3D is asking me about how is my JG Maker going. So the good news about the JG Maker is I'm actually done with my analysis of the problem. I really don't want to go into all of the details tonight because I have like 2 pages of notes on the details of the JG Maker, and I want to present those. So I'm going to do what hopefully is going to be a relatively short video, kind of going through everything that I checked, everything I tested, and give my results on the JG Maker, because I have basically narrowed it down to definitely what it's not and probably what it is. And the only reason I can't tell you exactly what it is because I can't actually, without doing a lot of modeling and a lot of work, I can't replace that extruder. So that's where I am right now. So one thing I did forget, give me 1 second, let me go grab something, is I need to get the appropriate screwdriver set for this. And so I'm going to get some of the old tools that I originally used when I did this kind of stuff routinely. So like I said, 3D printers are kind of my new hobby compared to what I used to do, and it used to be PCs. Was back, was it when Anantech was getting started, and Hard OCP, if you're familiar with them, they were big in the business. But if you ever heard of it, if you're in the Linux world, I used to run linuxhardware.org. You can check it out on the Wayback Machine. It's kind of fun to see what I used to do. And that was basically way before, yeah, CompUSA for sure. Yeah, Justin mentioned CompUSA. Definitely CompUSA was still around. Micro Center was still there. Obviously, we still have Micro Center here in the Atlanta area. But anyway, so I think that's it. Of course, if you have questions for me, if you want to know what I'm doing here, if you want to know what I'm doing with 3D printing, if you have any 3D printing, you know, Q&A type stuff, I sure don't mind talking about it while I'm doing this, because obviously that's my usual stuff. So computer specs. So if you want to know exactly what I'm building at any time during the stream, you can check in the description of this video. I have every one of the components that I'm going to be using, and links to the Amazon, to the exact Amazon product where I bought it from. So yes, yeah, yeah, Doom. I think I got Doom from friends. This was back, let's see, Doom, I was pretty young still. So, okay, so if you don't know exactly what I'm doing here, maybe you stumbled in, maybe you're used to joining me whenever you see me doing a live stream. So this is a new streaming computer for this channel, and it's going to be fairly dedicated to streaming. It's going to be a garage computer that's going to sit here, handle my streaming. I will probably go and put slicers on it so that I can slice right here. But that's basically what it's going to be for, is just garage computing focused on the streaming. So what I did, of course, you're going to see it's a very small computer. It is a mini ITX motherboard, which I've built before. My home media server is a mini ITX based board. This is going to be an AMD. I haven't built a Ryzen AMD system yet. So I've typically been Intel the past few years. So this is going to be a 4-core Ryzen with, what is this one? This one is 4-core, 4 gigahertz boost, 3.6 gigahertz base. It is a Ryzen 3 32G. And the G is for onboard graphics. Since I am primarily going to be doing things like slicing on it and just encoding duties like what I'm doing right here, I didn't need a lot of processing power on the graphics card. If it turns out that the onboard graphics isn't good enough, then I'll buy a dedicated card. But I figured this was best. I wanted also something low power. This chassis only goes to 150 watts. So I very carefully spec'd everything out not to use much power. It should be a low power system. Basically what I was going for originally was I was just going to buy one of kind of those all-in-one sort of kits that basically has all of this built into it. But the problem was I wasn't really happy with all the components, and I realized for the same price I could just put it together myself. So what else we got going on here? Yes, this is a small system. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Hey Nelson, how you doing? And let's see. So we got 26 people joining us. I figured it was going to be a relatively light stream. Number one, I'm not doing anything crazy with 3D printers. And number two, it is 9 p.m. on a Thursday night my time. But I wanted to get this one in. I have a lot of other things going, and tonight was a good night to do this. So first thing I want to do, I'm going to pull open the chassis first. But let me go ahead and bring up my wide shot here. There we go. I'll zoom in on this in a minute as I get this out, but let me go ahead and do the opening here. Total cost ballpark on here. I actually can give you a pretty good ballpark. Give me 2 seconds. I think that's a great question. So, Sin was asking me about the ballpark cost on this. So give me a second. I will pull it up because I had that on order. So, should have done this total ahead of time. It's a great question. So, 385, 375. Probably around $600, $500 to $600. I think 600. I think this is about a $600 computer, not counting a monitor that is counting the peripherals. So no, it's a John. It's a mini ITX. John was asking what size this is going to be. It's a mini ITX, so it's smaller than micro ATX. So again, about $600, and that includes an OEM copy of Windows 10. Just I'm not a Windows guy typically, but as you know, a lot of the slicing software is on Windows, and particularly all the streaming software. While a lot of it is on Linux, the Canon software, which I'm using to connect to my camera, is Windows. So, unfortunately, Windows. But let's go ahead and break into this, and I'm going to need to see what I'm looking at here. And what's that? Okay. Let's see what I've got. No Windows. Yeah, dealing with IRQs, making sure that your PCI ports don't interfere with your, what do we got? The ISA ports. Boy. You got your AGP graphics adapter. So what Linux do I like the most? My favorite Linux, and I actually used to be a developer on a Linux distribution called Gentoo. One thing I really like about Gentoo is you can customize everything you compile on that operating system specific for your machine, and so it's really powerful. It takes a lot of time to build and compile and update though, and I got to the point where in my life and in my career I didn't have time to just let it upgrade. So I actually switched to Ubuntu just out of simplicity. And I like Ubuntu. Ubuntu does the job, and it's still what I use most of the time. So here is the little in-wind chassis. So just so I can keep up with exactly what all these components are, this is an in-wind Chopin, depending on which language you're going from. Chopin Mini ITX tower, 150 watt power supply built in, and it's got some colors that we can switch to. But this is really nice. It has a brushed aluminum. Let me go and switch over to the other camera. There we go. So as you can see here, it has a nice brushed aluminum finish, which I really like. And this chassis was inexpensive, particularly since it came with the power supply. As you can see, the power supply is built in here, and it just has a regular 3-pin connector on it. So yeah, I've heard InWin make some good cases. As I said, I used to review hardware. InWin was always good. Silverstone is one of my favorites, but they're pretty expensive. So I'm going to see how to get into this one, because I really don't want to break any. Oh my goodness. All right, so I promise you, unlike 3D printers, I'm not going to spend all the time going through this, but oh well, it's in 100 languages. That's what we're looking at here. So English. Well, it looks like there's not. Oh, there it is. Okay. Hey, 3D Print Viking, how you doing, man? Let's see. Remove the left panel, remove the right panel, install the motherboard. Well, that's helpful. Question is, do you have to remove any screws? And I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So let's see. Does this just pull off, or do I have to do something special? If not, no, that's not working. What side is it going to install to? So the motherboard's going to install. This is the back side of the motherboard. This is the top of the motherboard. And it's not just coming off. So I'm going to remove this screw, wondering if that's what's holding it on. Is that what's doing it? There we go. Yeah, that was holding it on. So, we're actually not going to be using a whole lot of this. In fact, I just realized I'm going to have to run off once we get everything in the... No, believe it or not, this isn't actually... Is it the backside? I don't think you'd call this the backside. Well, keep in mind this is technically called a tower, so it doesn't have a backside. It's actually supposed to stand up. So, in fact, we're not actually going to be using anything here because I didn't buy any discs. So it doesn't have a disk drive of any sort. I went with a NVMe M2 on here because why not? It's solid state and it's fast, and I don't have to worry about it once it's installed. So I went with fast drive. Yeah, and one thing I was going to mention during the stream on this is way overkill for this machine, but I figured I'm going to be doing a video on it, and if you look at the cost of a 500 gig drive, going with a cheaper one doesn't save you that much unless I go really cheap. So this was under $100. So it might as well. So let's go ahead and open the other side. Can you guys see this okay, or do I need to get some more light on it? Let me know. Well, the CPU cooler I got, Justin 3D was asking, the CPU cooler I got is actually a low-profile CPU cooler, so hopefully it's good. Hey, there it is. You were right. That kind of is the backside, but like I said, it's a tower, so let's put this back together. I'm saving my screws right where they go. And I'm just going to put these behind me. What do we got? We have an American power plug, luckily. And we have, we have an SSD drive cable, or just a regular, you know, 2.5 inch, 3.5 inch hard drive adapter SATA. And we're not going to be needing that. And we have these color panels in case I want to add a little zing to it. But I won't need those either, because it's just going to be sitting under my desk. So what do we have in here? So my other system, my main system, I can game on. It has a pretty nice graphics card in it. Don't ask me what it is off the top of my head, because I don't remember the name of it. But when I bought it, it was top of the line. Boy, I apparently have gotten too old for this crap and too many kids, because I used to be able to just whip this up off the top of my head. So we've got our motherboard power connectors. It does have a couple of drive connectors that come off of that motherboard connector. I'll probably just end up zip tying those up and getting them out of the way. What do we got here? So this is, I honestly can say I don't know what that goes to. So this is something newer than I have built a system lately. So someone in the chat may be able to tell me what that is. Not USB 3. USB and sound ports. Oh, it's the header. So instead of the little mini pins that I used to have to install like 15 different pins on and figure out which way they go, they've gone to one of these. That's nice. I'm glad to see that. Wonderful. Well, I know what this is. That's a USB connector. So that one's definitely USB. And that might be audio. Oh, we got all kinds. Let me show you. So I know one of these is USB. Let's see, hold on. This one is audio. This one says F. I think it's probably USB. And that one doesn't have a label. Okay. Let's see, does this come out? Or do I need to just mount it directly in here? It does not come out, so that's part of it. So I just wanted to show you this part first, but we can go ahead to the motherboard. Might be a sound connector. Okay, let me put this one off to the side. We'll be bringing it back soon. But I need to make sure, back when I was building these last, sometimes you had to put the mounting plate for the CPU cooler on the back of the board, so I don't know if I'm going to have to do that. And here's the main board. As you can see, definitely not very big. Was that about 8 inches square or so? Is there anything in here? Yep. So more SATA connectors that we're not going to need. Yep. Okay. We have our manual. We have software download keys, I believe. More of that. We've got screws. And we have our back plate. If Asus is your favorite brand, it has always been one of my favorites. I used to have a really good relationship with Asus. And they've been a good company for a long time. All right, so what do we got? So it does come with a DVD of Windows 10 support. And I do wish that I was grounded. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over here. I'm not on carpet, so it shouldn't be too bad. I'm going to grab this printer that's over here, which is grounded. I'm going to ground myself real quick. So, yes, I should have a grounding strap. I don't. All right. Get a good look at the board. So, it's a very well-made board. I give them all the credit in the world. Again, Asus makes some really fine hardware here. This is our AM4 slot. We've got 2 memory DIMM slots. They've got this really nice heatsink built into the board, and this is going to go right where our SSD is going to go, right there. We do have the normal plugs, and you're right, they have put these nice new front panel connectors on here, which I really give them credit for, because they didn't have those when I was doing this last time. And everything else looks really nice. Really big components. You notice ASUS does a really good job on these. Really nice big components. Top-notch stuff. This mounting bracket for the CPU cooler is just heavy duty. Already attached to the board. The plastic is really nice, this molded plastic. So really impressed. And as for my back panel connectors, I have both DisplayPort, HDMI. It still comes with PS2. I can't believe they still haven't killed off PS2 at this point. And we've got 6 USB ports. We've got Gig E. And if I'm not mistaken, I may have bought one with like higher end Gig E. This may have like more than single Gig E support, but I'm not 100% sure. I looked at a lot of boards. And then we have just our regular sound ports. So looks good so far. So what I want to do now, I want to see how my cooler is going to mount, because I need to know, do I want to go ahead and mount this now, or am I going to install the CPU and the cooler before I mount it in the chassis? Let's see. What we got? Front panel, does it have a back SSD? Nope, nothing on the back except the mounting bracket there. Let's see. At least there's no VGA. Yes. Mount first is what I'm hearing. Mount, which part? Mount it to the chassis first? Well, let me show you this. Either way, we'll find out. So this is really nice. I wanted something quiet. I'm going to want it, I mean, I guess it is going over printers, so I don't know how much it would have really mattered. But I wanted something quiet in case I am recording just a audio live stream. So I bought a Noctua low profile fan, and hopefully it fits just fine in here. Let's see. I'm hearing outside the case. All right. You shouldn't put your motherboard on the plastic. Yes, I know it conducts. I will make you feel better and not install everything on that plastic bag. All right, so what do we got here? So this is, Noctua always goes overboard on their packaging and on their, it's a high-end one. This, I paid $50 just for the cooler. So it's really nice. It does come with its own heatsink compound. It comes with a nice case tag, which is actually metal. They didn't actually fake this. It is actually a metal case tag. We have a, is it an adapter or just an extender? Low noise adapter. Oh, this actually slows down the fan automatically, which means that there's probably a resistor in here that slows it down. We've got screws already right here. I'm going to pull this out. We have, there we go. So that's really, really nice. Can you see that? There we go. Yeah, it's. I've always believed in good cooling. Let's see. All right, so that's really, really nice. Nice big fan on it. Should be quiet. And they've packaged this well, of course. And I have some more screws. And I have their mounting plate, which has a nice plastic piece on the back that is actually going to keep it from shorting out our main board. And I think that's it for there. What does Noctua say? Noctua here has some instructions for us. Dear customer, congratulations on choosing their Chromax Dot Black. Hey JS3D, how you doing? No problem being late at all. Kind of goofing off tonight, building a computer instead of a printer. Like I was telling everybody else, going back to my roots here, and let's see how we're doing on the stream. We got 26 people in. I think we've had 26 people in most of the stream. And so, you know what? Someone mentioned a drink, so I'm going to get mine because I'm talking so much. So, oh, that's good. That's my first sip of that drink. That's good. All right. Do you ever buy Noctua for your 3D printer? You know, I was having a discussion with someone on Twitter about this. I did buy one of their 40 by 20s, I think is what it was at one point, because it pushes more air than their other ones. And this was also back when I was doing 12 volt printers instead of 20 volt printers. I don't think I'd do it again. I just need more airflow than that. And also my printers are no longer in my dining room, so they don't have to be as quiet as they used to be. I just don't think Noctua's really push enough air with their really small fans for what we need them for with 3D printing. So anyway, let me keep going here. Mounting part. So they are going to tell me to remove the stock mounting plate because we don't want that for this particular cooler. And I'm looking for my software here so I can see. Okay, so they are telling me to remove my stock mounting plate, use their thermal compound. What else we got here? Then we're going to fasten the heatsink to the CPU and make sure. So interesting. I don't know what they use their longer screws for. That's interesting because it came with 4 longer screws, but they're nowhere in the instructions. So never overdo the thermal paste. Oh yeah, I used to have a just awesome spatula that I used to use. I wish that they would have come with a spatula, although I think I know where one is. So maybe I have one. So let me go ahead. I'm going to move this out of the way. My table is clean here. 36 watching, 17 likes. Do it, peeps. Thank you, Garrett, very much. So first things first, I would like to have you a little bit better shot here. I'm going to mess up everything real quick and try to get a little bit more light. It's darker than it was earlier. So excuse me. We're jumping in front of the camera. I'm just going to pull this light a little bit closer. And I think that'll help quite a bit. All right. Yes, that helped a lot. I like that better. Let's see. Let's go ahead and first things first, I'm going to take off the existing mounting that they tell me to do first. So let's go and pull that off. I do have, if it's not, yeah, there it is. So I've got my magnetic screw holder. It's already got some parts in it from the JG Maker, but I'm not going to get those confused. So one thing I forgot to do was post on social that the stream was live. So if you're on social, if you could go to your social media pages and retweet or repost my Facebook for me, let people know that this is going on wherever you're hanging out, that would be a big help. And maybe I'll take 2 seconds to do that too. I just, you know. You don't like the CPU socket? Yeah, I haven't used this one yet. To me, it looks almost identical to what I was using last time I built a computer. So I don't think things have changed all that much. There we go. Got that. All right, let me go ahead and do that real quick because I forgot. Twitter's important. Facebook's important. Let's see. Okay, So anyway, thank you very much, JS. I appreciate it. Let's go. So next thing up, we are going to want to go ahead and install the processor in the socket. And I have my pocket knife ready to go. Going to bring that up, and then I'm going to bring up this. All right, let's get this open. Let's break the seal. And the only thing I guess we need out of here is right there. Oh, let me get rid of the glare. So that's the Ryzen. Those are the Ryzen pins. There you go. And the rest of this is pretty much the fan. So I'm not going to need that right now because I got my own. As you see, it also comes with a nice Ryzen sticker. Kind of like to go with that Noctua sticker I got earlier for my chassis. I'm going to go, ooh, well, look at there. It even comes with a Radeon sticker because it's got Radeon built in. That's nice. Yeah, I actually did Justin was just asking about configuring jumpers, and yes, absolutely, I remember configuring jumpers on ISA cards and PCI cards, but you know, I've built them since then. I've definitely changed out parts since then. So what do we have in the way of keys? So looking at this slot, and you're only going to see it so well, I notice, but there is a square in this corner while all the other corners are cut off at a 45-degree angle. So there's going to be our key. And right here, let's see, can we get it? Notice this one down here is the squared off corner. So, okay, very good. So take that square, put it with that square. And if you didn't see me, I raised up that corner. All right, I'm being very, very careful here because I know what happens if you bend a pin. Okay, so that looks well seated in the slot. I'm going to hold it down with just my finger. I'm going to snap it in place. Now that should be locked in really well. And as for the next part, so they are saying, I'm going to first pull this off of here. And let's see, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a quick dry mounting. And I need to see where they have the fan header. So all the fan headers are here, and they've done an excellent job of not labeling them on this side of the board or that side of the board. So, but they're all right here. So I guess it doesn't really matter which way I mount it. There doesn't seem to be any big difference. So it's going to go on like this. Interesting. It looks a little higher up than I would have thought. So, clean off the CPU. Is that what you're saying, Nelson? I should take a little, alcohol probably and clean it up? Is that what you're saying before, now that I've touched it? Yeah, I know. I thought it when I did it. We are of the same mind. So let's see here. Interesting. So that does go on like that. Let's see how long these screws are. The screws aren't super long. Oh, okay. They are long enough. So I guess I'm going to take Nelson's advice, since he's not going to let me get away with it. I'm going to grab a paper towel and some IPA. You know, Nelson, I may have tried to get away with that if you weren't in the chat, so I'm glad you're keeping an eye on me. So, you know what, I'm also going to show you how I used to do this, because I don't have that spatula. So, a little IPA, clean off the top. This is 99%, so it shouldn't be leaving any residue on there. No, it doesn't have my fingerprints. Good and clean. No, you're doing a good job. I appreciate it. What am I drinking? I don't know. This is a YouTube stream. Am I allowed to say? See, IPA in this bottle, IPA in this cup. Let's put it that way. IPA in both places. They're not the same IPA, I hope you realize. Kids, do not drink isopropyl alcohol. All right, so I have not touched the underside of this, so we're good there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you the way I used to do this. First things first, I'm going to clean off my knife. Because what I used to do when I didn't have a spatula is I would take my knife edge and use that as a spatula. Let's see. And I don't know if anyone comes in here and they don't know what they've stumbled into. This is a maker channel, traditionally mainly 3D printing, but tonight I'm building a computer because I have one to build, and it's more fun to build with friends. So there we go. Kris, what kind of thermal paste? Well, this is actually the thermal paste that came with the Noctua. I actually have some other stuff that may be better. Let me see. There's a review coming up, or I guess not a review, a how-to coming up where I needed thermal paste. So if that sort of thing interests you, you've got that to look forward to. But I did have to use thermal paste recently, but where did I put it? Oh, there's always too many things going on here in the shop. I'm pretty sure this Noctua stuff's going to be fine, though, so I'm not too worried about it. They wouldn't have sent something. So I do have some of the silver-based thermal paste around here. Like I said, I don't know where I put it, though. I'm not too concerned. All right, so this, you want to see grain of rice. I'm not so sure. I will add more if I need it. There we go. How's that look to everybody? How did I do? Looks pretty good. All right, and the way I used to do this, what does it matter about the fingerprint? You just leave oils on the surface, which oil isn't as good of a conductor as thermal paste. So it's cleaning it up, and then what I used to do is you can make a really nice coat out of this. Now I used to cover the entire top of the heatsink in thermal paste, but with one of these really thin layers. What is the going understanding about how to do this these days? Has that changed? Because I used to do it like that. But I usually would do a little bit more than that. I would go a little bit closer to the edge, but not so close that it would possibly come out the side. So I'm going to put just a tad more. Someone can correct me if they don't like the way I'm doing it, but I think we'll be fine. That's probably too much. But I have my knife. I can get it off. And we're just going to get it a little bit more to the edges. I want good thermal conductivity. Again, you can do this. I actually, with that other thermal paste I had for the review that I ordered, it did come with a small plastic spatula, which would be a little bit easier to use than this knife. But this is, God, I feel like I'm sounding like such an old man. This is how we used to do it in the old days. It's funny, though, because nothing's changed except some of these connectors. Other than that, the way you build a PC, the connectors, even the CPU slots are pretty much the same. Let's see. Yep. Okay. Well, good. I've got some confirmation here that covering it won't hurt anybody. And I'm going to use my fingertip. It's got alcohol on it at this point anyway, so I think we'll be fine. This is the way meticulous people do this. This is a great live stream way of doing it, where people watch me put on thermal paste. This is obviously going to. Good? What you think? Good? What you think, guys? That's probably good enough for me. Let me know what you think. All good. Yeah, I think we're going to be good. Nelson thinks I should go a little bit closer. Ram Tech thinks I should go a little bit closer. Uh-huh. Yeah, I think I'll be fine. I'm going to leave it. The way they were showing it in the instructions, they basically showed to put a dot in the middle and it'd be good. So I'm going to leave it here. I think we're good. Then I'm going to put it on this way. Well, what do I want to do? Maybe flip it over. This way. Flip it over. Line up my holes this way. Let's do it like that. Yeah, like that. Then there'll be less wiggle. All right, what you think? Never use a P in the middle. I agree with that. Let's see. Move the board back and forth. We're going to go a little bit like this. I'm not actually going to go back to forth because I don't want it coming off the edge of the processor. I think we're good. So I'm going to call that quits. We're going to go ahead and drop in our screw. Oh, no, we're not going to drop in our screws. We're going to put on our back plate. Back plate right there. And let's see if I can get a little closer to you guys. All right. There we go. Boy, I really, really wish I would have turned my website back in the day into a YouTube channel. Because that would have been fun, and I would have, like I said, I would have beaten Linus to the punch. But Linus does good work, and he's got a lot of enthusiasm and energy, and I really like watching him when I do get a chance. So we're going to do the corners, try to get everything evenly push down. We don't want to do one side before the others. But we do want it tight. Okay, that one's good. That one's good. That one's good. All right. And how do we look? Not seeing any. And as Ramtech just mentioned, as long as there's no circuitry on the side, we're fine. But that looks really good to me. That's heavy now. But I really like that cooler. Very secure. I'm going to have to look at the manual to find out which plug I'm supposed to use for the processor. Otherwise, I know the BIOS is going to complain to me. So let's take a look. No. Nelson's saying I should really get it down tight. Get the drill out. Yeah. Let's see. Looking for the fans. So fans. Do they care which fan is which, or do you like program which one it goes into? I have no idea, because they're not acting like it even matters. So they've got it labeled as 2 CPU fans and 2 chassis fans, but I'm not seeing which is which. Huh. Okay, let's see. Connect the fan cables to the fan connectors on the motherboard, ensuring that the black wire of each cable matches the ground pin of the connector. They don't say. And I don't see a label. So, you know what? I'm going to go with my gut and say it's the first one. Because after all, the CPU fan should be the first fan. There we go. What's going on, everybody? Yes, mini ITX board. It is an Asus board. Thanks Rich Tech to Fix for dropping in. Yeah, there's no springs on this one. This one, well, I mean, you get the spring force of the legs of the heatsink cooler. I mean, those kind of act as springs, but not actual springs. So there we go. So next up, let's just go and mount most of the stuff on the board, and then we'll mount it in the chassis. After all, there's only 4 screws to mount this in the chassis. 1, 2, 3, 4. So nothing's going to cover those screws. So while I got it on here, let's just go ahead and do it all. I'm going to grab these. I went ahead, much like everything else, it wasn't much more expensive to go 32 gigs. And there's only 2 slots, so I had no chance of upgrading this in the future. So I went ahead and did 32 gigs because I didn't want to worry about it. And that gives me a lot of just expansion ability for this system. This system then can do more than what I had it planned to do. Then I'm going to pop this open. I think these are, what, DDR4s? 2666. And only one side actually has, let me turn it that way so you can see what I'm doing. That's a good angle. So I went with this red line. Mushkin was always a good brand when I used to build these regularly, so I went with them. Again, this is a 2x16 gigabyte kit, PC4 kit. PC4 2666. Okay, so there we go. And what is it? Austin? Is that how you pronounce that? Austin? Thanks for joining us. Dual channel mode. Well, there's only 2 slots on here, so don't think there's many other channel modes I'll be able to install this in. It's just a mini ITX board. So there's one. There's which way? Yeah, the other way. There's the other. No RGB goodness. In fact, I actually was trying to avoid too much bling on this system because, again, it's sitting in the garage and I didn't need the bling. Did I put that in backwards? No, it just didn't want to go in. Let's try again. There we go. Okay, both memory sticks are in. Onboard graphics for now. This does have a PCIe slot in case I want to upgrade the graphics later. And I'm pretty sure the chassis will support a low profile card. So I can do that later if I want to. So memory's installed. M2 goes right on top of this heatsink right here. So notice they've got this big metal mounting plate for that. It goes right there. So that's where we're going to put it. So as I mentioned earlier, if you were not here at the beginning, I went ahead and went with a higher end NVMe M2 SSD drive for this because it's solid state, number 1. Number 2, it's on board. And the price difference just wasn't worth not doing it. I like to build systems that are going to last a long time and not have to be upgraded. And so that's what I was going for here, is just the longevity. And this is going to be plenty of fast for doing video, for rendering out giant G-code files, you know, all that good stuff. Yeah, so if you, so I didn't talk about this at the beginning. So this laptop has been dying on me for some time now, only when streaming to YouTube. And so if I die on this stream, that's what's going on, is this thing has finally crapped out for this stream. My 10K live stream that I was doing, I ended up bringing down my big PC to do my streaming because I didn't want it to die on me. But this has been crapping out on me. It's a perfectly good laptop, but it craps out during live streams. So I've already got what you're watching here, which is the external USB capture card. And so I'll be using the same setup and kit and everything. I just want a computer dedicated to doing this. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. So this is a $600 computer. This is really nice. Really happy with it. So let me see. Oop, that fell right out. So there we go. Very, very nice. This is a 500 gig one. If I need more, I will probably end up just grabbing another SSD or just probably getting a USB one, and then I can carry it back upstairs if I need to my main system. Nova, thanks for dropping in. Sorry to hear you have to go, but it's good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. Let's see, VT16 Turbo. Yes, I got my PC here. Again, this is a mini ITX PC. So this looks like it's only going to go in one way. Now, I do seem to be missing something about this. So first of all, I've never installed one of these in a system before. This is new to me in terms of the installation. And so I'm a little concerned. I just want to make sure I do it correctly. And I see it goes in there, but I don't really see how it stays in very well. Because it doesn't seem like it really lays down. Maybe it's these little screws that it comes... Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. It actually does have some posts, because that's what I was wondering. There weren't posts, and so you've got different posts here. So I'm using my pocket knife way more than I thought I'd have to. There is a tiny screw, and there is a post in this little bag. That's what I was looking for, but since it wasn't built on, I didn't want to assume. And there should be one more little screw. Okay. So looking at this, if this goes here, this goes to the furthest most post here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Right there. This is going to go here, just like that. And as you can see down here, then I have to install an extra post to mount that onto. So, sorry if you can't see this extremely well. I'll try to prop it up a little bit, because this is not just hanging out. I'd like to make it a tutorial as possible. So we've got this little mounting post here. Let me see, I should have a socket that fits it. And I do. So I've got my handy multi-tool kit here, made by Cobalt. And it does have a socket that fits this. There we go. Just a little bit of tweak, because I don't want it coming out. So there we go. If you'll notice, this is kind of neat. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera. It does have a little bit of a lip on it, which is nice. Anyway, so then beyond that, there seems to be only one way to install this. I pop it in this slot here, push it down. You kind of lose visibility of the pins. You know you have it in all the way. And then we're going to lay it down. And you'll see this actually fits right around that post perfectly. There we go. Camera's doing a really good job for me. Appreciate it. All right, so now we have itty bitty screw, which I'm sure will cooperate as I'm trying to hold down that at the same time. I actually don't know if all this is magnetized. Let's find out. I know this one's magnetized. Let me see if this fits it. This is the same. I've had this screwdriver for over 15 years, and it is just top notch. Again, push that down, pops right in. Okay, just a little bit of force, but not too much. And that is mounted. Looks good. All right, what's next? So I'm going to put these in here. And those I don't need anymore. Those are going to go over here. I guess I can keep them all together. All right, clean up a little bit. Now I have heatsink paste on my fingers, which is a terrific place for it. Pull up the pants. Is that it? that was too easy. Way too easy. So, as someone said, I/O shield time. Let's move this over to the side. We're not going to need drive cables. I'm not going to throw those over my shoulder. Let's keep all this off to the side. And I guess it's time to bring back up the chassis. Boom. So this is also going to be a little dark. It's just a dark case. But you know what? I'm going to get rid of me there because you don't need to see me at this point. There we go. Gives us a little bit more to work with. Is it level? Okay, I'm going to check it. I do think it's angled up slightly, but I don't know what you do about it. It's the way it's made. I don't have any doubt that it's making connectivity, but it is angled just a little bit, as you said. But there's nothing you can do about it. That's the size of the post. And, yeah, I don't know what you do about it. Checked it. You know, any ideas? Thanks, John, for dropping by. Everybody go check out Tripod Garage's channel. Got some good content over there. Made it too high? Well, if you don't have the post, that would be much worse. Let me make sure the other post it comes with. If you don't have the post, there'd be nothing to mount it on. The other post looks the same height to me. Yeah, other post is the same size. So, I'm going to try it. Anyway, I/O shield. It's going to be pretty simple. I/O shield from the inside. How are we doing on time? 10 o'clock. All right, still got an hour. We'll see how far we make it. I'm going to have a hard stop at 11. I'm not going to want to keep everybody up all night, including myself. And my wife was kind enough to give me the evening to put this together. She knew it was important. So, let me see. Do we have posts for the chassis? So the posts for the corners are already in place, so I don't have to add any standoffs. Hey Andrew, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. I am building a mini ITX AMD Ryzen. Did I say that? Ryzen computer, and it is a Noctua cooler. It has 32 gigs of memory. It has onboard graphics. It is primarily for garage computing. I guess it's late. Primarily for garage computing, and I am going to be using it for live streaming and some model slicing primarily. So I will love to see if Fusion runs on here, because if I could do some simple changes from the garage as well, that would be awesome. Let's go ahead. I should be able to mount this now. I got my I/O shield. Going to put it in like this. It's a little tight. I'll be the first to tell you. Maybe I do this and then back forward. Yeah, let me do it that way. There we go. So push the back in first, then slide it forward. Everything fits in really nice on that I/O shield. And then I should be able to get it into the 4 posts that are on there. It is a Ryzen 3, what did I say, 3400? Heatsink still in there, I need to not forget that. Ryzen 3 3200. 3200 with onboard Radeon, what is it called? Vega 8 graphics. Like I said, if that turns out not to be powerful enough, then I don't know what I'll do. I'll get a bigger chassis. I think that'll be powerful enough for what I'm using it for. If not, it wouldn't be a big deal to have to swap something out. So let me go ahead. It should have come with screws. I still don't know why the CPU cooler came with those extra screws. I don't know what they're for. Let's see. More stuff with the chassis. So the chassis screws are in here, so I do have to open this pack. So I was trying to figure out, Justin 3D just asked, can I just call you Justin? Justin? Okay. So Justin just asked if it will take a graphics card. Well, the only way it would take a graphics card is if it happened to have one of these size openings on the back of it. That is where my PCIe slot is, and it would go right there. So there we go. Let's see what we got here. Lots of screws. Thank you. Have a Ryzen 5 with inbuilt graphics, 32 gigs of memory, 10 4 terabyte drives. Wow, very nice job. Nice job, Andrew. So how are the built-in graphics? Because I have not used the built-in graphics on a Ryzen. All the ones I've used are those Intel ones, and those are definitely nothing to talk about. So I'm looking forward to trying the built-in Ryzen graphics compared to like the Intel graphics, which are good for office use, and that's about it. I'm trying not to spill all of these, but I guess I will do it over here just in case I do. So I know what the chassis screws look like. They're the bigger ones. It does come with, this chassis is really nice. It does come with all your drive mounting screws as well. Yeah, I forgot what I have currently on my storage server. I've got a RAID 6 array here at home that I upgrade from time to time when I run out of room. But that's for home use. It's where I keep all the videos for the channel, that kind of thing. Very good cabin stream with no lag. Cabin stream. All right, so I'm just going to push this up so I can find the holes here. I've got to be able to see them too. I want to push on the heatsink, not on the... Let's see if that's it. I'm just mounting the board in the chassis, again, just like you would on a 3D printer or anything else you're building. I'm not going to tighten these down until I get all 4 of them in. But there's only 4 screws. It's such a small motherboard. There are only 4 screws, 1 in each corner, similar to the larger SKR boards where they only put 4 screws in the corner, which is a much better design than hiding them all over the board. Oh, good, good. Perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you, Andrew. I'm going to tighten these down without cracking the board. I would have liked some, like, what are they, cardboard washers or something. But anyway, it's looking good. Oh, good. If I get close enough, I get really good light. There we go. So now let's hook up some power. I can't tell you how tempted I am to just snip these off altogether, but I know that I will be mad at myself later if I do. So I will not snip these off. Power plug is here. It does use all 24 pins. So this is a keyed connector. It's pretty easy to figure out. It will only go in one way. And it pops. So that means the entire connector is in there. And I think there is room up here in the front. I don't know how there's any airflow in this case other than the CPU cooler though. I'm not seeing any fans. Hope that doesn't bite me, but I don't know. We'll see. Given the fact that the only thing active in terms of, you know, active heat generation is going to be the processor, which also has the graphics. The memory has a heatsink on it. The only thing without a heatsink is the hard drive, the SSD here, so I think we're going to be okay. Wattage power supply, 150 watts. So I got a lower wattage Ryzen. It's why I went with a solid state disk there. So I think they'll be enough. Wasn't planning on adding a graphics of any sort. So I did see an 8-pin connector. So this will go around this way pretty nice. I'm going to have to put together this 8-pin connector. So it comes separated. And then you just slide these things together. Again, it's funny how this stuff just doesn't change very much. Except which angle you have to slide them together from. There we go. There we go. Okay. So again, now it becomes an 8-pin. And again, this is also keyed. So, well, I'll tell you what. I don't buy unknown products like this without watching reviews and without reading the reviews on Amazon. The reviews on this chassis were extremely good, which you just don't see a whole lot. So I'm going to assume that people would have been reporting if they had a lot of overheating. So that's at least my assumption. So this one is marked as F. It just says F. Front panel is probably what it means. But we also have this front panel, but what you guys told me in the very beginning, and you were right, there's a terrific new front panel connector that this goes into, which is right down here. So I showed it earlier, but there, see that? There's a front panel connector here that this will fit into. I'm glad they finally standardized on something, because that was greatly needed. I'm going to push that in here. It is also keyed, so it should only go in one way. Okay. So now, what to do with the last two? I've got a F and an HD audio. So let me make sure I know where these are. Riveting entertainment here. Let's see, it's 15, I think, what I'm looking for. 15 is front panel audio. So front panel audio is right next to the audio port on the back panel. So that is HD audio. We have this audio connector, which has a keyed pin right there. And yeah, not a lot of room for cabling, that's for sure. And we have an HD audio cable all the way back. I'm not going to be able to show it to you real well, but all the way back near the back panel. And so, like I said, it's keyed. Pretty simple to install correctly. Main thing is just to push it all the way down, which not a whole lot of room to do that, but it seems to have gone on correctly. There we go. Now I can see it, and it's all the way back here. Okay, so what is F? Just front panel. It looks like more, well, I was going to say it looks like more USB, but there's not actually enough pins in it for it to be USB. Front headed. Well, the only thing I have on the front is audio, lights, and USB. So, I don't know what it's for. It is keyed. It still looks like the USB header. Oh, there is something called F panel. Okay, so let's do that. That's what it is. That's the F panel. And I've got news for you. Port 10 is USB. Okay, so that big fat port that I installed just a minute ago that I showed you, that I thought was just the front panel stuff, that's actually the front USB headers. This one here is things like buttons and LEDs. So that needs to go up on the front near the SATA ports. So I think this one goes, again, not going to be able to show you this one either, but it goes right down here. Right. Something's in the way. Right down there. All right. It's the switches and lights and reset and all that good stuff. Okay, so now it's a cable management nightmare, but I don't think I need to worry about it too much because I work with 3D printers and we have cable ties. So let's see. I'm going to lay this down on top of that PCIe port because I don't need it right now. Okay. Cut these later if they are in the way or if I need them, or if I need that port for that matter. All right. A lot of this stuff, I don't even think I'm going to need to cable tie. There is a space in here. There's no fan, so let's see. I probably will cable tie this. Well, unlike some printers where I kind of leave it open because I know I'm going to be fiddling with it, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on cable management, I have no intention of opening up this computer unless there's some routine maintenance or in case something doesn't go well when I power it on. I'm going to shove that up in here. Same thing with this. They really don't give you any option. You kind of just have to shove this up in the front of the chassis here and hope that you don't push too hard on those memory slots. It's not the best, but it is trying to be small. So I don't know what else you do with it. That's where the plug is. That's where the cables come out. And same thing with this. Don't even think let's see, do I even need to? Wow, they're really not making me happy here. I think I'm going to have to take this and unplug this again real quick. Do they not want you to unplug that? Apparently that USB pin locks in place. And I'm just going to take these and lay them down here too. Not ideal. See? That turned out to be in the wrong place because of these other cables I'm having to lay down. So let me get rid of that. And then move them back. I still want that cable tied though. Yeah, you're crazy, Nelson. You and I have been talking. GTR is a massive board or set of boards depending on what you're doing with it. Nelson wanted a challenge. Okay, so I think that's good down there. Nice and tight. So whether that is ideal, luckily, you know, there's not a whole lot of, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of airflow, unfortunately. So time will tell as to whether that actually causes me a problem. So I think I'm done on this side. Any last words before I close it up? Again, not a whole lot of airflow. This is going to end up having to do most of our cooling. It's going to be taking air this way and this way, kind of hopefully creating a circulation. I hope, well, you know what I was about to say, I hope that there's enough space between that and the top, but I realize that this is the perforated side. So I guess we're not worried about, yeah, Nelson called it. As about the time I was saying it. We're hearing power it up first, guys. No, come on, guys. If we power it up, we're ruining the fun. How's that first run going to be if you guys are so ruining it. Aren't you supposed to close it up? Let's see. Test before closing. Well. It goes this way. We'll get to see it run. Oh, let's go ahead and open up. I'll put that back over here since everyone thinks that we need to test it first. It's like building a printer. Shouldn't we close up the printer before we're done? All right, so this is, I wanted something small again, both the keyboard and the mouse. I don't know if I'm going to actually like this keyboard, but I'm not going to use it for much. It comes with a keyboard cover. Look at that. Oh boy. Yeah, this was cheap, but it is small. It is not wireless. I did not want a wireless one, mainly because I end up running too much interference. I've got a lot of wireless stuff, and the last thing I want during a live stream is interference. So this is cheap, real cheap, but I don't care because it's in the garage and it's going to collect dust and other things. And so if it breaks, I can buy another one. Same thing with the mouse, not wireless. I'm doing live streams. Having a mouse or a keyboard go out on me during a live stream is not a good idea. Okay. So I know what I'm going to have to do here. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. May end it after this part because I don't think people want to watch me install Windows. That doesn't really sound like a whole lot of fun. There we go. Nelson wants to watch me install Windows. Alrighty. Alright, so I've got those installed. So when I turn it on, do you want to see the monitor or do you want to see the insides of the computer? Which one? I need some votes. You want to see this power up or you want to see the monitor come on? Okay. I'm going to go ahead to the wide shot here. There we go. So we are back on the wide shot. All right, so let me get my power cord because I threw that somewhere important, which is great. There it is. I was waiting for someone to tell me right now. How about both? I don't... well, I guess we can probably do both. You could see that one from far away, and then I can do the monitor with the other camera. You guys are going to see the junk in my garage because I'm using the monitor that I'm currently using for chat. Big monitor. You won't have any problem seeing it. What have I done? Okay. Will this power up as soon as I plug it in? All right, so I need to rearrange a couple things here because I'm going to set this up as you guys are asking for it. Let me restore my chat to here. That gets rid of it off that monitor. Now that monitor's not doing anything, I will unplug it. There we go. Live stream's still going okay. Yes, it is. Now I'm going to plug this into here, HDMI. All right. Going to go to studio mode so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm hearing you want to see close up of the monitor. Again, you guys are going to be seeing the back of my garage here, as well as, I can't really zoom in with that, so you're just going to see that from there. And you've got the big monitor in the other shot, so I want to switch for you. Boom. Everybody can still hear me all right. Everybody can see what we're doing. No fire extinguisher, not for something like this. It's not a 3D printer or anything crazy. But yes, I do have fire suppression gear handy. We're all 3D printer users. We should have some fire suppression nearby, right? All right. Yeah, that monitor is big. It's one I had sitting around from work gone by, and then I decided, well, this is a terrific use for it. So then I can chat with people and still look in your general direction. Okay, let's see what it does. First of all, will it turn on when I plug it in? Place your bets. Well, it didn't cut on. I think that's a good sign. I'm going to see this too. The power button is right here. So let's cut it on. That is extremely quiet. It is not making a sound. And I've got a light on the monitor, and we're good. There we go. Check it out. Everything looks good. I'll wait for you guys to catch up, because it looks good from this side. There we go. Just waiting for the chat. There we go. So I'm pretty happy with that. That couldn't have gone much better. It is showing the correct processor with the graphics. It powered up. It is seeing all of the memory. It sees the keyboard and mouse. Let's head into the BIOS. And it did, hey, I either got it into the right slot for the CPU fan or it figures it out intelligently. So that's a really nice BIOS. I will have to say BIOS has come a long way. But I want you to just watch this. It is absolutely silent. So the fan is spinning at about 1200 RPMs, as we can see from the display, and it is not making any noise. So I couldn't have, that couldn't have gone better. And if you'll see here, the display, let me do this before I talk directly into it. So as you can see, we do actually have the disk drive is showing up correctly as well. System tuning is normal. We're not going to change any of that until after we get everything installed correctly. Got both of these. I guess it's good. So I did not get the USB install. I should have done that first. I actually have good old. Let me switch over because you guys don't need to see that part. Swap them out. There we go. You guys can keep watching it. There we go. Yeah, it is showing the M2. It's over there on the right-hand side, the boot priority. So there we go. Definitely see. It's weird it's not showing it here, but it's definitely seeing it here. Don't know what the deal with that is. Looks good to me. Yeah. So it is Windows 10. I bought Windows 10 Home Edition OEM. And it is the DVD. So if you guys want me to go ahead with the installation, if you will keep things going for 2 seconds, I will run and grab my USB drive and we can get this installed. Because I didn't know if you guys would actually want to sit and watch that part. Okay. So yes, this is authentic. It's my cool little Microsoft logo. Everything looks good. So there we go. Go for it. Everybody's going to stick around. If anyone joins and wonders where I am, please let them know that I will be right back. And I'm just going to get the CD drive, which is just sitting up at my computer. Be right back. all hooked back up. Oh, David's leaving us. Sorry, David. See you later. Thanks for dropping by as usual. All right, Viking. Good to see you, Thomas. Thanks for dropping by. Have a good night. I know it's, what, middle of the morning where you are. Let me unplug this into a rear USB port. See, how dynamic is this BIOS? I'll go ahead and get everything put together. Then it's 3:29 there. Nelson's maybe just saying bye. Beverage time, Chris. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Good idea, Garrett. Andrew, so you're somewhere in the Europe or Africa? Oh, who's that? AU. Austria? Okay. So 4:30 a.m. Viking. You're up too late. Go to bed. All right. So I've got my 64-bit Windows Home full version. Australia. Sorry. You know what? The time that you gave me, I should have known that it was Australia, and for some reason, my time was off. All right. We're going to see. I'm just going to go to save and exit. There, I'm going to switch back to the other. Hey, Eccentric Nut. Good to see you. You are late for the build, but not late for the Windows install. If that interests you. It interested everyone else. So we're going to go back to the screenshot here. And I am going to do a save and exit. Okay. And then it should either find the DVD drive or ask me for a boot menu. If boot menus, I think, are usually F10. Let's find out. Well, there we go. Press any key to boot from the CD or DVD. And it is loading up. Okay, so Rebuilt Ginger 34, good to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight. And it is a Ryzen 3200. I want to get this off memory one time. Ryzen 3 3200 mini ITX mainboard, 32 gigs of memory. We're using onboard graphics, Windows 10 Home, and it has a Samsung 970 M2 drive. I think that about covers it. I'm not going to run you off, Thomas. You know I won't. I want to sit down, though. I'm standing the whole build. Make sure I don't put my stool on anything. Now I can get this close by. I think it's Vega 8, if I remember reading that earlier. Yeah, it's a Vega 8. So, duties on this system will primarily be streaming, number 1, slicing STL files for 3D printing, number 2, and then maybe some light CAD work in Fusion 360 if I need it. Hey, DB3D. People still dropping in on me. I appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate that. So we are in the Windows install mode here, and it is stuck on this ASUS screen at the moment, but the DVD drive is spinning. So I'm not going to mess with it. I am installing Windows 10 off of DVD instead of USB because that's what it came with, and I didn't take the time to go to the Microsoft website and grab the USB key version. Yep, all my printers are, well, not all of them. Some of them are stored in the dining room right now, but all the ones I print with are in the garage at the moment. I've built me a nice little area here in the corner with the goal of taking up the entire garage eventually as this little YouTube channel grows. Let's see, 2 monitors. Will you do 2 monitors on it? Yes. I always run 2 monitors in my live streams. One on the desktop so that I can do the control, and then I always have one wide, which is the monitor you're looking at right now, which I use for the live chat and just monitoring things because it allows me to look in your general direction when I'm talking to you. All right, let's go. So I'll probably just have to install now. Really like the mouse and keyboard. It's cheap, it's light, it doesn't have any extraneous keys for what I'm using it for. I love keypads, but I needed something that would stow away quickly in the garage. Activate Windows, so this is where I have to get rid of that screen because I don't think I want to share with my Windows key with the world. So let's go back to here temporarily. New printers. So I have, what is it, the LD002H, which is Creality's latest printer and their latest resin printer. I have the JG Maker, which I have one more video to do on because I have taken the time to debug it. And as I do my software, scratch gently to reveal key. Okay, so here's my Windows key. So it is authentic here, people. I do not support piracy unless you're at the Renaissance Festival, and then it's not only encouraged but expected. Okay, so let me hide behind here. Not that I think that anyone is going to be able to tell me about what I'm typing. All right, see if that works, and then I'll be able to give you the screen back. Product key didn't work. Probably didn't type something right. No crap. Or I didn't scratch something off all the way. So let me look at this again. I think I found it. Ordered this directly from Newegg. I'm not about to deal with reused keys or from some shady third party when buying Microsoft licenses. Why spend $100 if you're not going to actually get what you paid for? All right, I accept these terms. Let's say next. Okay. Should work with it. Yeah, this doesn't currently have a net connection. I actually purposefully didn't buy one with Wi-Fi because I'm not going to be streaming over Wi-Fi. I'm going to be doing it all over wired connection, just like I'm doing now. So let me give you the screen back because I should be done with the key. Let's see. There we go. I know you probably can't see that too great. It's a little fuzzy from here too. But anyway, let's keep on going. Plenty of time. I don't like to do these 1080p streams over wireless. It's not good for the network. It's not good for everyone else on the network either. Let's see, custom install Windows only. Upgrade Windows, keep, okay, yeah, why is it even asking? Nothing there, OneDrive. I'm not actually going to do any special partitioning. Oh, thank you very much, Rebuilt Ginger. Thank you so much, and Sin. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Charlie Bowen. By the way, nice to see you in the chat. Thanks for joining us. Well, as soon as okay, so Direct Drive E5 Plus is not next week, but the following week is my plan, and so I'll hopefully be able to share my Cura profile then. Okay, let's go. I don't think this DVD is going to be that slow. We got 41 people in the stream. If you haven't taken the time to like this video, I'd appreciate it if you would. It helps with the algorithm, letting people know that you should share this video a little bit more. Again, if you're not familiar with the channel, I usually do 3D printing reviews and upgrades and tutorials and all that good stuff. So something a little bit different tonight. That's why I made it a live stream and not a video upload. But I thought it would be fun, and I like hanging out with the viewers anytime I get a chance. So that's what we're doing tonight. I think everyone has seen the specs. It is a Ryzen 3 3200G onboard graphics. M2 500 gig drive, which is a Samsung 970, 32 gigs of memory, and this in-win case is really nice. I'm really happy with this case, and it's so quiet. I'm not going to have to worry about any extra noise from this. And if you haven't seen it, if you're new, notice the top of this chassis is actually all perforated. So I probably will leave this in tower mode when I find a place to install it, because this will keep more dust out, obviously, than if I were to lay it down with it up. Let's see. Where are we going? Where are we going? Oh, good, Charlie. I'm glad to hear that YouTube's doing what they're supposed to. Let's see. Have I recorded the RSD update? No, I haven't recorded it. It's going to be a relatively quick update with some pictures and stuff. I focused on the debugging process, so I didn't actually spend a lot of time recording the video as I was debugging, because that would have taken too long to edit and get uploaded. And I've spent far too much time on the RSD already, personal time. So I'm going to record an update. I'm going to include some images, everything I've done to debug it, and that, if I have, that will be out this weekend, because I have another video that I'm trying to get up next week. So this will be a bonus video that will hopefully go out this weekend. I've got Cat 6 in my house. I did all my own Cat 6 runs. Rebuilt Ginger was asking about what type of Ethernet do I run in my house. Cat 6. It's what I started running, what, about 10 years ago when I moved into this house? Something like that, 8 years ago, whatever. Let's see. What's an awesome bow prop? JAK Props, good to see you. What's an awesome bow prop? I like bows. Okay, so when I said the DVD wouldn't be that slow, I may have been wrong. But I haven't installed a copy of Windows from scratch in a while. I have to give Microsoft credit. I do think Windows 10 stands up to being run for long periods of time, probably longer than any other version of Windows they've had in the past. You know, just traditionally, the longer you'd run a copy of Windows, the slower it would get, and it would just eventually bog down to where you had to reinstall it, and I haven't had to do that on my current one. Let's see. Yep, I don't have any plans on rerunning. I would love to rerun, but I've run so many wires in this house already. Yeah, wait till I do all the updates. Yeah, that will definitely, I'll probably take this and set it on the kitchen table and just, while my wife and I watch evening TV, I will probably let it do its Windows updates. Oh, thank you very much. Yes. Well, I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad it worked out for you. Because, yeah, I love my Arrow Season 1 bow. I don't do enough props on this channel. In fact, that's something I hope to rectify in the future once I get caught up on all the 3D printing techie stuff I have that I want to put on the channel. I hope to catch up on some prop building and show how it's done. I took a lot of footage years ago when I made my first Arrow Season 1 bow, and I still have that. It's not very high quality footage, but it does show pretty much the entire process of making a Season 1 bow. I just have to edit it. Let's see. So what's everybody printing tonight? Anyone got a live print running that they want to talk about? Something that something you've been working on besides Benji's? I do not have any prints going this evening. I've got my, mainly because I've been working on the JG Maker, and I way too often get single-minded on something, and so the JG Maker or a resin printer or whatever I'm working on will take up my whole brain, and that one has taken up a lot of brain power trying to figure out what was wrong with it, and but I'm ready to get some big prints going. I have so much I want to build. Let's see. Self-watering planter. I like the sound of that. I do wall art. Missed half the stream due to fails. Oh, that's no good. Yeah, I miss DOS. I tell my kids sometimes about the days of DOS when I used to have to optimize DOS 622 for each game I played. What went into high memory and what stayed in low memory, and where did you put your sound drivers or your modem drivers, and they just look at me funny like I'm speaking a foreign language. Cute kitten for the girlfriend, very nice. I think direct drive's really misunderstood by a lot of people new to 3D printing. Like a lot of things in 3D printing, people hype something up and it's like the smoking gun. Direct drive will solve all your problems, or linear rails will solve all your problems, and then people don't really know how to use it or what's it supposed to do, or if you upgrade to that, what else are you going to have to upgrade? And so it's one of those things that they expected something magical to happen when they installed a direct drive system, but they didn't know what it was designed to do in the first place. Let's see. Sorry about that, Sen. I keep hearing from people that SD cards just don't want to load, and of course, since I can't help debug, I don't know if it's the card or if it's the board or if it's the firmware itself. It's very difficult. Now, VT16 Turbo, what you're building, you're building a Death Star desk lamp. That sounds amazing. That's what I would like to be printing. Let's see. So, Rebuilt Ginger is in Japan. Very nice. Thanks for, I guess it's just about your evening time, right? Just about late evening or early evening where you are? I guess early evening. What's the best material for liquids? Imagine a ping pong ball on a motor. What's the best material for liquids? Meaning you want to hold liquids? Your best bet to hold liquids is print it out of whatever you want to and then coat it in resin, probably. That's what I would do. The inside or the outside coated in some sort of resin. Oh, good. Nelson and I were working on a filament runout sensor on his GTR board, and now it's working for him, so that's great. Yes. AutoExec back can fix this. reboot, repeat. Oh, this boot disk is for Falcon 3.0. I have to very specially customize Falcon 3.0. Love that game. Let's see. Hey, We Are Plasma. How you doing? I missed you coming in. Welcome. I feel like this is like the test print version of installing a computer. So like when when you're doing a test print, it's like that's when the stream really kind of lulls out and like people start dropping off. But you guys are staying in it because yeah, this is the part that's not nearly as exciting, particularly with this crappy camera. I mean, I'm staring at a monitor. And it just does not look good. This monitor is super clear from here, but it has apparently a matte finish. And it is not doing particularly well showing it to you. So I apologize that you're having to stare at that. Yeah, I see. Filament Frenzy, good to see you. Thanks for dropping by. A name I frequently see on the Twitter, but have not. I don't think we've ever met in person. The only time I have made it to a con was Earth, and I don't think we met there. I don't remember. Chris, I got my new filament from who? Who'd you get your filament from? Maybe I should just show you the blinking light on the Blu-ray drive. Oh, from Filament One. Awesome. Yes, Filament One. I love their stuff. In fact, I was explaining to someone just earlier today, like I use the same filament for almost all my testing. And what that really buys me is that I know exactly what to expect when I print something. I don't go, was it the filament? Was there a setting I didn't have quite right? Was the temperature not set right? No, if I use Filament One, when I do testing, and as long as it's not old filament or something like that, then I can count on the results that I expect. I can get a quality print out of it, so I'm really happy about that. 5 more rolls today. Thank you very much. I hope you're using my affiliate link when you're ordering those. If not, I'm going to have to say, hey, people are ordering it. You're just going to have to assume it's all using my affiliate link. I do include the Filament One links in all of my live stream videos because people are always asking me what's my go-to filament, and that's it. That's all right, Nelson. I'm joking with you. You don't have to use my links. But if you come to like any of my videos at this point, I think I try to put the Filament One link in the description at this point. Let's see. 40 people still hanging out. Thanks, everybody. And 40 likes. Look, we've hit equilibrium. We have 40 viewers and 40 likes. Charlie's leaving. Well, that's great. Go finish up your Octopi setup. I do have an Octopi video in the works. Boy, I have too many videos I'm working on, or I want to work on. But this isn't full time. I've often said if I was doing this full time, I would have so many videos. I'd probably try to get out to a week and just blast through them because there's no end to the videos I want to be doing. And the videos people want me to do. So we're up to 17% on this Windows installation. I did say I had, yeah, I get busy, right? Because I don't have a day job. Promise you, this doesn't pay the bills. This pays for the toys to keep making videos. It's kind of an endless loop. Off subject, installing micro-Swiss onto an exoslide. Yeah, I've already looked at doing it. I don't have actually a solution because I haven't spent that much time looking at it. I did notice that it doesn't fit with any of the existing holes. If it was me, I'd probably try to look at drilling into the bracket that MicroSwiss provides, or if I didn't want to do that, I would 3D print something that aligned the holes up and then just print that directly to it, or at least maybe initially make a 3D printed adapter, make sure I was happy with it, and then I could drill the holes. Oh, Daniel. Yeah, Daniel has the new MicroSwiss kit that he won on the 10K stream. Congratulations again. Let's see. What's up, BT16? You leaving us? Have a good night. Thanks for dropping in and spending so much time. I am going to have a hard stop here in about 5 minutes, and I hate to leave you hanging without knowing if this Windows install makes it all the way through, but I'll make sure I post an update on the YouTube and on the Twitter just for an update. So if you'll keep watching those streams, you'll get an update, and I'll let you know if anything bad happened or if it went through without any issues. So, other printers I'm working on, it's going to be a lot of resin once I get all the mods done, because I have a lot of boards in, boards that haven't officially been released yet that I can't talk about, boards from a company called Lurge. If you haven't checked them out before, check out Lurge. They make some nice boards. They've sent me like a care package of parts and boards, and I really like the look of them. I haven't installed them yet, but I've got that coming. That's a little ways off because I've just got so much in front of it. SKR Pro is getting a lot of attention. People are pushing me for SKR Pro, so that's going to be coming very soon. MicroSwiss was kind enough for the direct drive, so that's going to be even sooner. Next week's video, I've talked briefly about. It is dual extruder on the Ender 5 Plus, and there's a twist in that video. So I'm not going to give it away, that would ruin it, but I did do an installation of dual extrusion on Ender 5 Plus. I have parts to print. I've got tutorials on how to make changes to the firmware. That one's going to be a lot of fun. So, okay. Thomas, 3D Print Viking, says he's got a Lurge X in his 2-tree Sapphire. So, yeah, it is a pretty nice board, and it's got a really high-end processor on it. I think, if I remember correctly, that's like a 400 megahertz processor on their boards or something like that. I hope I'm thinking about the right board still. Garrett, you know, you might not be far off, but I don't want to give it away. Will you do a chameleon? Like the print? The nozzle? What chameleon? I think there are multiple things called chameleon, and I don't want to talk about what chameleon are you talking about. All right, we've put Thomas to sleep. So have a good night, man. Thanks for dropping in for the whole stream. I really appreciate it. Oh, multi-extrusion chameleon. I don't know if I'm going to do a chameleon. We'll see. I'm not a huge fan of multi-extrusion. It has its very specific uses, and it has some very nice like manufacturing uses, particularly for like the soluble supports. It's good for things like that. But other than that, from day to day, I don't have a lot of use for multi-extrusion printers. Let's see, Chris, what do you think of the Chimera hot end? It's a dual hot end. I ordered one from Ender 5 Plus. I want a Chimera, and I haven't pulled the trigger on it. So that's all I can say, is that it is a It is one I have wanted to try. I like it on paper, or the specs of it. So I've wanted to try one out too. I haven't bought it yet to try out. No pallet yet. They haven't contacted me, and I haven't decided to drop that much money on it. It's one of those things that I would love to play with, but I'm not sure how much I would use it. I don't know if I would use it a lot or if I'd get one and love it and use it all the time. I'm not sure. So, Jake from State Farm, dropping in right at the buzzer. I hate to say that, Jake, but like I've told everyone else, I have a hard stop here. So let's sum up this stream because it is 10:59 and I really do want to get off on time. So what have we done? We have built let me switch it around here. And let's do a sum up of what's going on. There we go. So what have we done here? We have built this terrific mini ITX PC in a beautiful brushed aluminum chassis. As people have asked throughout the stream, it is Ryzen 3200G Ryzen 3, and it's got 32 gigs of memory. It has an onboard, well, they're all on board, but the SSD drive, 500 gig SSD drive down here. It has, again, the memory here, 150 watt power supply built into the chassis. Seems to be holding up. Obviously, we're not stressing it too much at this point. But I am really happy, and again, as I showed you, this makes virtually no sound. I think it's going to be a stellar addition to the garage here, and I'm really happy with what we accomplished in this stream. So thanks everyone for dropping by, for sticking out so long and hanging out even through 43% of a Windows install. Thanks for all the questions and just the chat and company. Thanks for dropping by, and I will see you on the next live stream or this weekend in the next video. Thanks again. See you next time.